For over 70 years, one currency ruled the world, the US dollar. It was the money of trade, oil, and power. If you want to do business, you needed dollar. If your country ran into trouble, the word answer would always be ask the America. But something is changing quietly, and it starts with one word: BRICS. BRICS is a group of countries which contains Brazil, India, China, South Africa, that is now expanding. They are not just doing trade, they are building something bigger, a financial system, a new global order, a world where American dollar is no longer king. This is not a war. There are no bombs, there are no parades, just quiet meetings, new bank, secret deals, and a plan that could change the future of money forever. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you would understand how BRICS is preparing to replace the US dollar and what that means for your country and your future. BRICS began in early 2000. At first, it was just an idea for fast growing countries: Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Later, South Africa joined. Together, they represented over 40% of the world population. But they are tired of the old system controlled by the US and Europe. In 2009, they started holding yearly summits. They talked about trades, development, and most importantly, independence from the West. They created the New Development Bank, an alternative to the World Bank. They built they built trades agreements that avoided the dollar, and they started asking a bold question: why are they using the American money to do? Why are we using the American money to do our own business? This is the reason why dollar rules the world. After the World War II, the US made a deal with the world. America would back its dollar with gold. The world would use dollar for trade. This worked for a while, but in 1971, the gold link ended. Now the dollar is just paper backed by trust and military power. But because oil is traded in dollars and bank moves money through the US system, countries were stuck. The US could print money, freeze assets, or punish nations by cutting them off. It used the dollar as a weapon, especially with sanctions. Russia, Iran, Venezuela, China all felt the pressure. And that's when BRICS made a decision: we need a system where dollar doesn't decide our fate. So this is how the BRICS is the dollarizing the whole of dollar. Yes, BRICS began to act. China made trade deals with Saudi Arabia using the yuan, not dollars. India bought oil from Russia using rupees. Brazil and Argentina discussed a South African currency. Russia and China set up a digital payment system outside of SWIFT. Step by step, they reduced their needs for dollar, not in public, not loudly, but with purpose. By 2024, more than 30% of BRICS trade was in local currencies. And in August 2023, something historic happened. BRICS invited six more countries, including Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, Argentina, Ethiopia, and the UAE. That group now controlled more oil than OPEC, more land than NATO, more people than any Western alliance. I'm going to talk about the energy shift. For decades, oil was sold in US dollars. That's why the dollar stayed strong. Every country needed it to buy energy. But what happens when oil is sold in Chinese yuan or Indian rupees or a new BRICS currency, I don't know what happens. In 2023, China bought oil from Saudi Arabia without using a single US dollar currency. The deal was a message to the world: we don't need the dollar anymore. If BRICS control oil sales, the world will follow their lead. The US could not stop this with war. It cannot sanction every country at once. This is economic power, and BRICS is using it. Okay, let's go then to the BRICS currency plan. They are whispers of something even bigger: a new BRICS currency, not the yuan, not the rupees, a shared coin backed by gold or a rare metal. I think that would also make sense. But why? Because they want to build trust. If oil, gas, and food are priced in this new currency, countries will use it. In 2024, Russian finance minister said that the new BRICS currency is no longer theory, it's a project. And if that project succeeds, the dollar could become just one currency among many, no longer the center, no longer the standard. Why is the West worried? Why are they worried? It's because the US leaders are paying attention and they are nervous. If countries stop using dollar, America loses its power. That's just the truth. It becomes harder to print money, fund wars, or control global banks. And when the dollar weakens, everyone feels it, from gas stations in Europe to food markets in Africa. The US used to lead with strength, now is trying to stop a quiet revolution. But Brits aren't waiting, they are not waiting for them. They are building a new world with or without permission. So, how does this affect Africa, Asia, and you? I'm going to explain what I feel. What does all this mean for the rest of us? For countries in Africa, it means more options: loans without Western strings, infrastructures without US pressure. For countries in Asia, it means more trades with neighbor, using local money, fewer dollars, fewer delays. For normal people like me and you, it means a future that does not revolve around the Wall Street. Of course, this shift won't happen overnight, but it's happening, and those who see it early can prepare. Now, I'm going to say this: that the dollar time is running out gradually. The dollar won't vanish tomorrow. America is still strong. Its banks, its markets, its technology are all powerful. But a quiet storm is coming. One that does not need soldiers, one that does not need missiles, just contracts, shipping lanes, currency swaps. The world may wake up one day to find that dollar is no longer the boss. The future aren't about one superpower. It's about many powers, many currencies, and a world that finally says we don't need Americans' permission to grow.